Hey everyone, Dr. Frunky here with an awesome new knife consult for you on the CKF Knives Sukhoi 3.0. This knife comes to me by way of my friend and patron Nico. Thank you so much, my Canadian friend, for sending this knife along brand new before he even got to touch it so that I could give it a video and get a review. Our good friend Nick Shabazz has an excellent video detailing the takedown as well as a review on this knife. I recommend that you go and check those out for sure. Nick is a great member of our community. But I wanted to offer my insight as someone who has maybe a little bit more experience with higher-end knives and talk a little bit about what's going on here. So in true CKF fashion, this is Custom Knife Factory, the Russian company. They are one of the most impressive companies when it comes to packaging and presentation. They send you this amazing case, and on the inside, a packet of a new pivot with new pivot hardware, new ball bearings, new standoffs, new hardware, new clip, and even two full-size brand new carbon fiber scales in case you break them. In addition to this very plush case right here, along with the birth certificate showing that it's designed by Anton Malyshev with an M390 blade with very interesting material selections right here, and we'll talk about that. And it's from Custom Knife Factory right here. And you're getting all of this for a less than $500. If I look at the price right, I believe this is coming in less than $500, maybe in the $460, $480 kind of a range right here on Blade HQ, which is where this knife came from. And so it's quite impressive that we're getting all of these pieces. And I can't help but draw a sort of a comparison to Shirogorov knives. And I'm going to bring that back here for a number of reasons, not just the Russian connection, but for other reasons. And we're going to keep talking about that and see exactly how special this knife is and how impressive it is. So let's go ahead and get some vital signs on this big boy. And it is quite big. Up front, you are looking at a blade of about 4.1 inches. That is certainly over 4 inches of blade right there. Back to the pivot, you're looking at about 4.6 inches. Back to the full length, you're looking at almost 9.5. It's about 9.4 inches. The handle length is 5.3 inches with an effective grip area at 4 3/4 inches. So quite a sizable knife going on right here. The blade stock, even though it is so big, is coming in at 138 thousandths, so a little bit slicier than some big knives. The handle thickness is coming in at 570 thousandths, so over half an inch, but it's nicely contoured and does not feel like a wide knife. I'll go ahead and bring out another couple of knives for a size comparison. Here is the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 and the Para 3, both of which are absolutely dwarfed by this very large Sukhoi 3.0. I'll bring out my large knife that I have on hand right now. This is the Spyderco Subvert. If you're familiar with the Subvert, you can see that it is the same size as this Sukhoi, and so the Sukhoi is a gigantic knife. Both of these are in the huge category with regards to knives. So let's go ahead and break this one down anatomically and see what we're looking at. This is my favorite part of the knife right here, the blade. This is done in M390 steel, which is the best of the best, and we know that CKF does a good job with their heat treats and their steel management. The thing that I love the most about this blade is the finish. The finish on this, and I'm going to have to compare this again to Shirogorov. Shirogorov makes a blade much like this. It's got a similar style plunge grind, a similar style horizontal flat right there. It's got a similar style overall visual profile even. Shirogorov did not patent this design. It is a design that has been around for ages, but it is a similar thing. And if I'm going to draw similarities, I'm also going to look at the finish work. Shirogorov has a very beautiful, what I'll call semi-matte finish, with a sort of a matte finish, but it's also polished in a way. This CKF finish takes it one step further. I really love the way this looks. It's almost as if they mirror polished the blade, and then they media blasted it, and then they polished it again. It has this shininess, this reflectivity, but also this matte appearance. And so you can see there the words Dr. Frunky. You can read them on the blade, but it's a beautiful, beautiful finish. It's just hard to describe, and I love the way that it looks. It's really breathtaking. and much finer than a lot of finishes I've ever seen on a blade. I don't know how it will stand up to hard use and wear, but I think it will stand up really well. These types of finishes tend to do well, which is why they make them this way. I would love to see what this looks like over time and how this holds up. There are very nice horizontal satins on the flats, the CKF logo right there on the back. You can see this one is designated number 150. Very nice finishing on the blade right there, and a very thin blade too. To have 138 thousandths and then to be ground this thinly, you can actually see here how thinly ground that is at the heel of the blade. Beautifully, beautifully done. This is just a killer blade. If you are looking for a large, excellent slicer blade, this is somewhere to look. This is a super high-end, super nice blade with a thin stock and a beautiful edge and a beautiful finish. I have to applaud them for this blade. It is simply fantastic from a functional and an aesthetic standpoint. Absolutely love it. Moving back to the pivot may be equally impressive, where it is a system of multi-row bearings. Again, almost exactly like Shirogorov. If you go and watch Nick Shabazz's takedown video, he'll show that they have the washers on the inside with rows of 3 slots that you fit bearings into, and it's full of ceramic bearings. And so you have effectively the same Shirogorov MRBS system in this knife as you would in the Shirogorov knives. You're also going to get this beautiful custom pivot hardware. Check out the 3-pronged pivot collars. It's similar in a way to the Sukhoi 2.0, but it's an evolution of that design. You can take a look at some pictures of the 2.0. The 2.0 was a little bit maybe thinner in the handle. Not exactly sure of the exact differences here, but the 3.0 brings this visual upgrade to it. Moving back to the handles here, these are beautiful, beautiful pieces of 6AL4V titanium. And they are fixed with these beautiful marbled carbon fiber scales. This might be forged carbon fiber or marbled carbon fiber, what have you. Something that I've noticed about the carbon fiber is that there are some voids. I'm not sure if my camera is going to pick it up. As I kind of roll through here, perhaps you'll see in sort of the high resolution that there are maybe some voids. I'm going to try to find some specifically. Take a look at this area right here. It's just not 100% voidless. And in a world where, take a look right here, there's a bit of a void right here. In a world where we're used to perfect carbon fibers now, and we're used to this presentation grade stuff, it may not be acceptable to have any voids in your carbon fiber. There's a little bit right here. I'm nitpicking a little bit, but it is something to note if you are a stickler for that kind of a thing. This may not be the most perfect example right here. This may just be my example. Yours may have no voids in it, but it is something that I noticed. The handles internally have been tremendously milled out. Significant pocketing. Everywhere that can be shaved has been shaved. And it actually keeps the weight on this gigantic knife to a beautiful 4.86 ounces. So that's really good. It's very hard to keep these big knives near that 1-to-1 ratio, but a 4.1 inch blade and a 4.8 ounce weight is a fairly good ratio. Keeping this big ass knife under 5 ounces is truly, truly impressive. There is a steel lock bar insert on the titanium frame right there. There is a titanium milled pocket clip with a great amount of spring, a great amount of ram, and a nice amount of depth. I really like this pocket clip. I think it's stylish and functional. Something that I think is extremely impressive is this back spacer. I think this is where the zirconium comes into play. I'm fairly certain that this backspacer is a piece of zirconium that's been polished and flamed, and then there is titanium flanking that on either side, so it is a pseudo floating backspacer with an integrated lanyard hole on the back, which I always appreciate. Also similar in many ways to the Shirogorov style. There is a milled area right here for your finger for the flipper tab, something that I appreciate. It may not be perfectly located because maybe it should be a little bit farther back here as well. I feel that I'm running over that edge right there as I'm doing the flip, but I like that they at least did it. It shows that someone is thinking about it. Overall, I am tremendously impressed with this knife. The ergonomics are fantastic. Very comfortable in the hand, easy to grip, nice for the overhand grip that I enjoy so much. Excellent in any other type of grip that you can conceive. It's rather thin in the hand due to this clamshelling right here, this scalloping that's going on, not clamshelling, this scalloping. So I mentioned that it's 0.57 inches, but that's only along this ridge right here. Otherwise, it tapers on both sides, so it feels very thin and slim in the hand, and the scalloping really provides a positive traction with your hand all the way wrapped around it, and I really enjoy that. Add to that a beautifully done blade that is meant for hard use. This is an excellent knife. Honestly, if you are considering purchasing a Shirogorov knife, but you are taken aback by the high prices, many of the entry-level Shirogorov knives are going to be coming in at double the price of this custom knife factory with nothing significantly more impressive. I mean, this has a beautifully finished M390 blade, MRBS, carbon fiber and titanium milled handles. I mean, this is basically what's coming out of the custom division nowadays for triple the price. And so, honestly, I'm tremendously impressed. If you are looking for a knife with a Shirogorov motif, but you are looking for a knife that is a unique individual piece unto itself from a high-end manufacturer, take a look at the Sukhoi 3.0. This is really brilliantly done. It's a huge knife, so be aware of that. I hope they make a smaller version of this someday. But brilliantly done. I am deeply impressed. I have yet to be unimpressed with a custom knife factory knife, to be perfectly honest. But this one really is probably the best that I've handled from them ever, and it's really, really cool. So thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and click like and subscribe. Leave some comments down below about what you think of the Sukhoi 3.0. I'll leave a link to Nick Shabazz's videos. And as always, guys, this is Dr. Frunky saying, take care.